Hey, today I play Murphy the Pandora Directive. Let's go. Oh, first, let's see, I think I need to change something here. Yeah, let's go for this. F5 toggles, alright. And the rest I'll leave on default. Yeah, entertainment level it is, or difficulty, whatever it is called. And this time around, I'm gonna try for Mission Street, but I have no idea how to achieve that, so it may or may not be a failure. Because I think that would kind of lock me out of doing some funny lines to characters, but then again, I don't know. Like sometimes you could, sometimes you couldn't. Anyway, I'm gonna try and be uh, good to people, but we'll see what happens. I think last time I was on Lombard Street.
You know, I'm turning 30 tomorrow. Did you know that?
Well, happy birthday. You know, I was just thinking you don't look a day over 25.
Liar. I don't know, I've just been feeling very stuck lately. You know, I cannot remember the last time I was surprised by anything. Can you?
The last time I was surprised was by you. Well, you know what I mean. I'm just surprised that we're able to stay good friends.
I've been thinking about moving. Maybe Phoenix. I've got an old college friend that lives down there, and she says it's nice. I think the change would do me good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you'll love it down there, 'cause there's square dancing and 10-gallon hats and armadillo hunting.
And macho yokels with names like Tex.
Okay, that's yours.
So tell me, what do you think? You think I should go or not?
Well, you know, Arizona may seem like a much more exciting place than San Francisco, but it's dangerous down there. At least around here, you got your friends checking out for you.
It's dangerous everywhere. I mean, especially here. I mean, did you hear about that co-ed? Someone murdered her in her own bedroom.
I didn't hear about that. Who killed her?
Well, the newspaper said it might be a serial killer. They gave him some kind of crazy name. I don't know, I can't remember what they called him.
Well, doesn't that stuff scare you? I mean, I'm a tough guy, and it scares me.
I appreciate your concern, Tex, but I have been fine on my own for a long time. Looks like the rain's letting up. I'm going home.
Got a big date?
Oh, yeah. Cary Grant and a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Hold me down. See you later.
What a schmuck.
What?
Chelsea was giving you opportunities all evening and you blew every one of them. The son PA you are. Well, you wouldn't know a clue if it walked up and punched you in the face.
Listen, all I know is, every time I try and ask her out, she turns me down.
It's from the distinguished gentleman in the corner.
You bought me a drink?
He bought you a bourbon.
Oh, good evening, good evening. Gordon Fitzpatrick is my name. Please sit down, sir. You know, I am not in the habit of eavesdropping, but I do believe I heard someone say that you were a private detective.
That's right. I'm a licensed private investigator.
Oh, delightful. It's a pleasure indeed to meet you, and your name?
Murphy. Tex Murphy.
Tex Murphy. Well. This is fine. Now listen, let me ask you this, Mr. Tex Murphy. Have you in your work ever had the occasion to seek for a missing person?
Sure. I can do that.
Well, then perhaps we could do some business.
I think we can work something out. My office is just around the corner, the Ritz Hotel.
Why don't we go there? I like your office. Oh, yes, the ambiance is very authentic. Reminds me of those, those old detective stories that I used to watch when I was a kid. I'm sure that at any moment, Sam Spade is going to come marching through that door, but then who needs Sam Spade when I've got Tex Murphy standing in front of me? Did you always want to be a private eye?
As far back as I can remember. Would you have a seat, Mr.
Thank you.
Fitzpatrick? Yeah? While all the other kids were logged on to Sesame Street Interactive, I was reading Hammett and Chandler.
It must be quite an exciting life.
Oh, it's got its moments. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the movies. It sure as hell doesn't pay very well. But it suits me. So what can I do for you, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Well, I'm trying to find an old acquaintance of mine, Thomas Malloy, Dr. Thomas Malloy. The last official address for him that I have is the Ritz Hotel. Now, do you happen to know him?
Can't say that I do.
Well, it's very important that I find him. You know, let me give you a little background. For many years, I was a research scientist and I worked alongside Dr. Malloy. But about 20 years ago, maybe, I guess something like that, our paths diverged and I lost touch with him, and he with me. And then very recently, I saw a photograph of him in a local newspaper. Now, it's a strange thing how time is such a natural equalizer, makes us appreciate the faces from one's past. At any rate, the older gentleman in that photograph is Dr. Malloy. And I contacted the newspaper to find out where the photograph had been taken. It was at the San Francisco Technical University. Well, I hiked right out there, got to the campus, and decided to look the man up and surprise him. Even with that photograph, no one recognized him, no one knew his name. But then I received a strange phone call by a young woman named Sandra. The man I knew as Thomas Malloy, she knew as Tyson Matthews. She seemed quite uncomfortable talking on the vid phone, so I suggested we meet. She never showed up for that appointment.
You never heard from her again?
You know, it's strange. But this simple, whimsical wish of mine to get together with my old friend has materialized into, I don't know, I feel a sense of impending doom. I fear for the young woman, and I fear for my friend, Dr. Malloy.
It sounds interesting. I think I can look into this for you.
Thank you. Now, you'll have to refresh my memory. How much is your fee? How does it work?
I charge $500 a day.
Of course.
Plus expenses.
Naturally. There, that should be enough to get you started. And here somewhere, there you go. I could be reached at that number.
I'll be in touch.
I feel we're off to a good start.
Not Mr. Fitzpatrick. This is the first cash I've had in months. $4,000. I owe Louis $200, and Rook says I owe him $300. But there should be plenty left over. Yes, sir. Things are definitely looking up. Fitzpatrick didn't give me much to go on. Just the newspaper photo of Malloy and the fact that Malloy stayed here at the Ritz. Then there's that girl Fitzpatrick referred to, Sandra. Maybe I can track her down. First I need to find out which apartment Malloy was staying in, then get into it. That means I gotta deal with Nilo, my landlord. It's the second week of April, and I'm a little late on my February rent payment.
Of course. Alright. Yeah, I'm probably not getting out of this office, apartment type of thingy anytime soon. Is this the door?
This door leads downstairs.
Yes. Alright, I have a lot of stuff to inspect, so... Let's see. What are we having here?
I'll pick up these clothes next time I'm expecting someone else in my bedroom. Yeah, fat chance of that.
What is he gonna say? Didn't he just give him a check? Anyway. No extra lines. Some other people there. Credit card. Oh my
My
god.
trusty electronic shop credit card. The only way to go when you're out of cash.
Yeah, this may or may not work this time.
So Fitzpatrick's staying at the Savoy. Guess I can call him on my vid phone if I need to talk with him.
Okay.
I'll pick up these. The downy fresh hub of my swinging bachelor pad. This is where I keep the elixirs and potions that help me maintain my boyish good looks. I had to pick up this Playbub issue. Had an interview with my favorite author, what's his name?
Right, because you love reading the articles. Don't mind what I say. Okay, well, this one is empty. And so is this one, right?
I really need to find some stuff to put in here.
Mm-hmm.
These are designer lights, as if there were any doubt. I'm currently reading The Maltese Fruitcake. The family's been passing it around for years. This is some sort of cool thing. It's a small miniature camel. I won this athletic supporter trophy in high school. I was the best third-string punter in the state. I think that's a ceramic dog. Amazingly, I made this horse out of a single coat hanger. Space Girl Doris. With your own form-fitting airsuit and come-hither smile, I still dream of you and a lunar landing.
Well, you were kind of close, which also reminds me, it was funny enough that they had an Under a Killing Moon box in the intro.
It's my own little attempt at
See.
creative horticulture. The nightstands add a pleasant symmetry to my bedroom ensemble.
Can I even get to that one? Oh, wouldn't open anything there, yeah. I don't know, maybe this plant is a little in the way. But I bet Tex doesn't mind, especially for the time being.
I'll pick up these clothes next time I'm expecting someone else in my bedroom. Yeah, fat chance of that.
Wow. More clothes?
My parents found this in the attic and sent it to me. I remember the pastoral days of my early youth, riding on my trusty Mount Striper, chasing bank robbers and horse thieves. And all that came to an end one summer afternoon during an electrical storm. The lightning struck a transformer near our home, creating a tremendous power surge. It was after the accident that my brothers and sisters started calling me Tex. Whenever I asked them, they'd just laugh and wink at each other. I never did find out about that nickname.
Nice. Okay then, so that's that. Oh, anything you'd wish to say about the ceiling? Yeah. So they have some sort of reverse controls here compared to the previous game. Then again, I never really changed anything. I just got used to
I'll pick up these
to
clothes
the
next time I'm
defaults.
expecting someone else in my bedroom.
More
Yeah,
clothes.
fat chance of that.
Okay. I guess this is not
Amazingly
openable.
enough, this space-age cabinet came folded into a packet the size of a Triscuit.
Alright. Whoa, what do we have here?
The guy who sold me this hormonotron said it would make women obsolete in my life, but I can't get it to work.
Yikes. Tough luck. Okay.
Indoor plumbing is one of the many luxuries I try not to take for granted. This is where I shave my face once a month, come rain or shine.
Okay. Oh, this something interesting. Oh, there.
Soap on a rope. Grandpa Murphy buys this for all the grandkids every Christmas. This is the certificate and a copy of the check the Mutant League gave me after my last case. I used the cash to expand my office, buy some furniture, and pay off my debts. That left me with $4.12.
Damn. Yeah, by the way, what is up with that front panel entrance type of thingy? Oh, he got 10,000. Certificate of Appreciation to Tex Murphy for his outstanding investigative talents and tremendous efforts on behalf of the mutants. We wish to extend this token of our deepest something. Is it artificial? It is artificial. Heartfelt thanks for the League of Mutants. Alright, and this leads to.
That's the way back to my office.
Yeah. So, what was this all about?
This door connects to my rec room.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Expanded office apartment stuff and all that. Very nice. Let's see, what is this? It will take me some time to get used to the controls, by the way.
This photo was taken at the last family reunion I attended. Has it really been 18 years?
Let's see. Can I get a bit closer? Is he even there? I guess that's just for show, but yeah. Anyway.
This painting epitomizes my view of women as a gender.
Wow.
No matter how many lights I have in a room, there's always space for another lamp.
Alright, and a bunch of stuff here.
These shelves contain some of my most cherished mementos.
Let's see.
A handful of Agatha Christie novels and my secret Aladdin lamp. I'm not planning on dusting that baby until I'm ready to retire. A handful of Agatha Christie novels and my secret Aladdin lamp. I'm not planning on dusting that baby until I'm ready to retire. A stack of Perry Mason paperbacks and some other crap. I mean art. A stack of Perry Mason paperbacks and some other crap. I mean art.
Oh, so he refers to the whole shelf?
A stack of Perry... A stack...
Yeah, I'm kinda tempted to check because who knows when I'm gonna get another one of those scenarios like in the previous game with the vases and the way
This is just a bunch of stuff.
I intentionally skipped over one, which happened
This
to
is
be
just a
the
bunch
one.
of stuff.
Just a bunch of stuff.
This is just.
Okay.
This is just. Oh, I tear up just a little bit every time I look at this empty bottle of Irish whiskey. This is just a handful of Agatha Christie novels and my secret Aladdin lamp.
Yeah, this is different.
I'm not planning on
okay.
dusting that baby until I'm ready to retire.
This is
A
different.
handful of Agatha Christie novels. This is half of my special Space Pirate Salt and Pepper set.
Okay.
I call this painting Bleak Landscape.
Bleak landscape. Well, whatever it is, it looks good. Even though it's at a low resolution, a little pixelated. Alright. Anything interesting you want to say about this?
It's another beautiful night in the city I love. It's another beautiful night.
Okay.
My favorite vase.
That from the colonel's office?
I'm gonna start using this thing just as soon as I get in shape.
Oh my god, he even has weights and everything? What the hell? Must have forgotten about this spot.
This is a big photo of two horses. Why I have it and why it's actually hanging on my wall, I have no idea.
Well, I did not have it on there, so who knows?
Oh, it's one of my favorites. Bear in a trench coat. A reproduction of Fish and Fruit by the mutant surrealistic Saul Dooley.
Okay. Let's see.
This barbell would provide a great workout if it weren't so darn heavy.
Of course. Oh, what are we having here? Hold on. I can become taller. Oh, I have something interesting there. Let's see. It's become shorter. Very nice.
Most of these computer components were purchased at a yard sale. The only one I've been able to get running is the little laptop on the shelf in front of the chair. Most of these computer components were purchased at a yard sale. The only one I've been able to get running is the little laptop on the shelf in front of the chair. Most of these computer components. That's the only computer in the office that works. Most of these computer components were purchased at a yard sale.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
The only one I've been able to get
use
running is the little laptop on the shelf in front of the chair.
Alright, anything down here? I suspect not. Inspect the chair.
This chair just didn't make the cut when I refurbished my office.
I see.
I cut this article about Mac Malden out of the newspaper. Gives me a good chuckle. I cut this thing out of the paper a few days ago. I've known Mac Malden for years. We've worked together on several cases, but I don't know if we're actually friends. We just help each other out occasionally.
Yeah, you could say that McMullen is chosen Policeman of the Month. Oh, I can't read this. Then decide to accept an offer to something. Well, I'm gonna have to guess a lot anyway. Alright. What is this?
Most of these computer components were purchased at a
Another
yard
one of
sale.
those, okay.
The only one I've been able to get running is the little laptop on the shelf in front of the chair.
Yeah. I see it. I think that's it. Alright.
This door leads back to my boudoir.
Your boudoir. Sure. Yeah, there's even more stuff here in the office. Oh, let's hear. What is this all about?
I had the vestibule added back when I had some cash. I think it adds a touch of class to the place.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit in the way to.
This office was a dance studio before I moved in.
Wait, don't you still give dance lessons to Dolores Library?
The credenza is not that attractive, but it sure beats the unsightly stain hiding underneath.
It's not opening any of
This alien
those.
landscape reminds me of the old Star Trek episode where they get that distress call, then Captain Kirk meets that beautiful woman, then he and Spock barely escape, then Kirk makes that funny joke right at the end.
Interesting. Oh, more alien, or not alien necessarily, but space stuff.
This is a breathtaking view of Saturn from the imaginary planet Alpha 19. This is the only pot I allow in my office.
Ho ho ho.
Nothing kills these plants, and I ought to know. This painting always reminds me of something. I'm not sure what. I got this from my grandpa, Audie Murphy. It was signed by Richie Havens. Grandpa said he was the original singing detective.
The original singing detective. Oh, very nice.
I haven't played my phonograph since it destroyed the A-side on my Bill Shatner Sings the Blues LP. I'm very choosy about what I keep in my hutch. The current selection shows off my sensitive, artistic side. This is a pretty rock I found when I was 9.
What is that even?
This is a pretty rock I found when I was 9.
Uh-huh. Okay.
These Gumby figures took 3rd place in my 7th grade sculpting class. This wooden duck represents my ongoing commitment to wildlife preservation. The watercolor plate is a lovely reminder of my favorite high school art class. This little gem cost me 120 Llama cigarette coupons, but I think it's well worth it. This is an anatomically correct carving of my first pet, Barky. A collection of my favorite poetry books. Someday, I'm gonna read every single one of them.
Yeah, too many words, right? I think that's No, I'm pretty sure that's one of the jokes he makes. Or maybe it wasn't about books, I don't know.
A collection of my favorite poetry books. Someday, I'm gonna...
Alright. And this is...
That's my prize collection of triples.
I see.
Taco Bob. It's got the most stylish placemats in town.
Taco Bob.
The guy who sold me this said it just might be an unsigned Picasso. It better be, because I paid $30.
Damn.
This hot plate will come in handy if I eat anything other than saltines and dog food again.
Oh man, there was something in this game, speaking of dog food. We'll see, maybe I'll get to it eventually.
Eat the rich dog food. A little gamey, but not bad for the price. I've had this jackknife ever since my Weeblos days. My knife used to have all the cool attachments. Now everything's busted off except the pliers and the standard screwdriver head. Rusty the Clown's Fun Book. The only pop-up book in existence with a must-be 18 years or older sticker. I picked this book up at Rook's for $0.25. It's worth every penny. The scanner brings back some truly fond memories. Wonder how Trixie's doing. Took me forever to get this diploma. I had to send in 100 proofs of purchase from True Detective. Couple more cases and I'll have this thing paid for. Then I'll start paying off my student loans.
Oh my god. Not you too. Hey, is this working?
The 60-day warranty just ran out on my electronic shop fax machine. Should break down any minute now.
I see. I see and I understand. Alright, anything here?
These drawers contain more worthless stuff than a Walmart bargain bin.
Damn.
These drawers contain...
Oh, so he doesn't want to talk about those. Same thing and same thing. Okay. How come they have a cutscene for this?
Eat the rich dog food. A little gamey, but not bad for the price.
He doesn't take it. Interesting. Okay.
Chandler Avenue recently got a city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off.
Damn. Must feel nice, I guess.
No one sits in this chair but yours truly. I really need to find some stuff to put in here. This thing sure beats my old desk. 8 cinder blocks and a half sheet of plywood.
Wait. That's not the same one? I didn't pay close attention to what the other one looked like, but okay.
That's my Jane Mansfield coloring book and the Inspector Poirot mask I used last Halloween.
Something here? No.
Yeah, it's taken me years to fill up these drawers. Another can of Eat the Rich dog food. Well, at least I'll never starve. I really need to find some stuff to put in here. Another bill from the electronics shop. I can't believe they expect me to pay for the junk they sell.
Final notice. This notice is to inform you this account is delinquent and must be paid immediately. If payment is not received within 3 hours of this notice, it will be sent to the Body Parts Collection Agency for immediate action. Damn. Electronic supplies purchased over 90 days. $1,230. What the hell? Wait, where's the date? What was it? Within 3 hours? When was this said? Anyway, we probably don't want to know.
Nothing interesting here.
Or at least Tex doesn't want to. Let's see.
Took me
Nothing
3 days
here.
of hard work to empty this drawer out.
Ah. Okay.
These drawers are the holding area for stuff that's about to be tossed out in the trash. And my trusty lamp. I borrowed this magazine on my last trip to the dentist. I've always been crazy for the Miracle Nails model. Ritual Virility is a guide to scoring with women. Step number 1, get rich. Guilty as Heck, the gripping saga of Lance Knight, the soft-boiled PI. One of these days, I'm gonna realize my dream of opening a spelunking shop in the Utah desert. This picture was taken of my ex-wife on her 25th birthday. Yeah, she was gorgeous. Makes me wonder sometimes why we couldn't make it work.
Oh wow, he really put it somewhere here.
This picture was taken of my ex-wife on her
can we do
25th
it?
birthday. Yeah,
Nice.
she was gorgeous.
Okay, we went over there already.
This thing sure beats. Between my
That's
wedding
interesting
ring and
to
this picture
see.
of my ex-wife Sylvia, I will never, ever forget that women are alien creatures capable of great destruction.
Did he draw her a mustache or something? Okay.
That's a New York Times bestseller, Men Are Imbeciles, Women Are Erratic. My mom sent this to help me with my love life. I've read the first chapter and I think the author's a hermaphrodite.
Uh-huh. Okay. And the vid phone?
My new vid phone is essential to my business. Thank goodness it's easy to operate.
Well, okay, there is no point in
With all
calling
that these
him
chairs have gone through,
right now.
I feel like I could write a testimonial to the makers of Scotchgard.
Alright, let me look at this book from this side. Written by hermaphrodite. Okay. Anything removable here? No. Is he gonna say anything about Europe's pawn shop?
Chandler Avenue recently got a
Not
city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off.
Alright, let's see. Any references here?
This baby's brand new. I had to replace the old one after the, incident. Lord, what a horrible memory.
Okay. They did not play a cutscene there or anything.
Nothing kills these plants, and I ought to know. This is my official front door. It leads to the fire escape.
Right, and by the way, just to make sure, there is nothing else here, right? Ooh, a couple more plants. Can I move those? Nah, nothing interesting. Okay. Actually, let me save. It's been some time after all this hard-working investigation. Might as well make a save.
I should probably stop by the newsstand and see if Chelsea's upset with me about last night. I've been trying to get her to go out with me for years now, and just when I think I might be getting somewhere, I stick my big foot in my mouth. Well, now I got some money, and maybe she'll give me another chance to let me take her out to dinner.
Hi, Tex.
Okay, let's see what I can do here.
Hey, I'm sorry about last night.
Is that so? Why?
Orthopedic humor. Damn. They're teasing me already.
Playing hard to get, huh? Okay, I'll play your little game.
I'm not in the mood, Tex. You know, this is not a game to me. I have a lot of big decisions to make, and maybe I need to get away to make them.
Hey, everybody needs some space sometimes. Go if you have to, but I'll be waiting when you get back.
Thanks, Tex. I'll keep that in mind. So what's up?
Well, I got a bunch of cash, but I've got nothing to do with it. I figured I'd go out to dinner tonight, but I hate to eat alone. Are you interested?
What, like a date?
No, it'd be more like two friends having a great meal and maybe some stimulating conversation.
I guess that'd be okay. I mean, yeah, that'd be all right. You know, Tex, I haven't really been myself lately, and I really appreciate you looking out for me.
Where should we go? How about Burger Barn? They got great atmosphere at half the price.
I've got a better idea. Why don't you let me make you dinner at my place? It's cheaper than going out. And besides, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Let's say 8 o'clock?
Well, you talked me into it, Miss Pando.
Well, I feel so spoiled.
By the way, what should I bring, red or white?
You better bring both.
Finally. After years of relentless pursuit, Chelsea's inviting me over to her apartment for dinner. Oh man, the possibilities are making me woozy. Okay, snap out of it, Murphy, and let's get back to work here. Maybe I should head over to the Ritz and see if Nilo's at the front desk. I'm sure he'll be happy to see me.
Hold it right there, you sneaking piece of slop.
Hmm. Play it cool, obviously pleasant. Alright, let's try to be. Oh, would this be sarcastic? Let's see.
Hello, Nilo. Good to see you, too.
Ain't we polite today? Strolling in here like some kind of sunbeam from heaven. Tell you what, fork over the money you owe me, and I won't kick your butt all the way out into the street. Ah, that's more like it.
Well, there goes half of it. um, yeah, let's go for this.
Now maybe you can answer a few questions for me.
No comprende?
Damn. A couple of options I wanna go with here. Alright, let's go for this.
I said I can use your help.
I heard what you said. It's just my meter ran out. Of course, you see note.
What? Well, that's some extortion already. Wait a minute, I owe, was it Louis 200 and Rook 3? That's 5 and 12 for the electronics shop. Alright, well, I think I kinda have to here, so let's go.
So, what's on your mind?
Oh, everything. Let's see. I have a lot of stuff to ask about.
What are you asking about me for? You want to ask me out on a date? Look, as long as you pay the rent, I don't care if you're the Queen of freaking England.
By the way, that scene with Chelsea where he's asking her out, I always think that's in Under Killing Moon for some reason. Or more like I think that there is one in Under Killing Moon and that there is another one in the Pandora Directive, but oh well, every time I start playing Under Killing Moon, it hits me over the head that I'm wrong.
I got a few things I'd like to teach that Chelsea, if you know what I mean.
Wishful thinking, I guess.
I'd like to wipe the smile off that fat guy's face, but he ain't a bad cook.
Really? He hates Louis? Interesting. I thought it was impossible for someone to hate Louis, and I forgot about Nilo. I wonder what's going on there. He probably likes Rock.
Ah, nicest guy on the street. Me and him, we talk the same language.
Yep, it shows.
Never heard of him. We only stayed here a couple of weeks. Paid up front for 2 months. But he's too late to get a refund.
Recognize the man in this photo?
Yeah, I seen him before.
What can you tell me about it?
He used to stay here, gone now.
Which room did he stay in?
Hey,
What name did he use when he signed in?
Matthews. Tyson Matthews.
Okay. Well, thanks for the help.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. P-Brain. I ain't familiar with that name. Nope. Never heard of him.
Apartment A is through the door by Nilo's desk and up the stairs. Nilos had a hard time keeping tenants, so Malloy was probably the last person to stay in the room. Hopefully I'll find a lead once I get inside.
Oh yeah, there was also a bunch here. I guess I'll investigate later. What are these for?
The only thing in that storage closet is dust.
Oh, just storage. I thought maybe some shortcuts.
The only thing in that storage closet is dust. This door leads to the upstairs apartments. Plants are an important component to almost any decor. These boxes are full of Nilo's girly magazines. If you ever caught me checking them out, I'd be out on the street. The blinds are covered with about a quarter-inch of dust.
Wait, hold on. But it's closed. He cannot see you. Oh wait, look at this.
Oh, this painting must be called Sam and Max Hit the Semi. Well, the hallways are surprisingly well lit. Nilo must like to give his female tenants a fighting chance. I don't make a policy of getting to know my neighbors. The Ritz is the kind of place where people stay when they don't want to be found.
Also, what's up with
These
these?
security keypads have their own code. It'd be a nice safety feature if Nilo didn't have all the codes.
But you don't have one.
I don't make a policy.
What's this?
I'd run naked through a nuclear reactor core before I'd set foot in there.
Oh man.
A gentleman of the old school like myself would never enter the forbidden zone.
I thought he was gonna make a remark of Nilo again. Guess not.
Having been through a frigid winter in the Ritz, I happen to know that this radiator is nothing more than a piece of industrial art.
I thought he was gonna say it's painted on.
Chandler Avenue recently got a city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, I didn't really get the chance to, but I have to investigate Chandler Avenue a little bit.
So, this is where Malloy stayed. The beginning of the trail. It's all locked up. What a scumbag. Nilo knew I couldn't get into the apartment without the code, and now he'll probably want to charge me a few $100 for it. At this rate, I'm gonna be broke again in a hurry.
Yeah, you're telling me. Alright, so I have to have another talk with him. Let me investigate some more though.
Nilo says there's a naked woman hidden somewhere in this painting, but I think Nilo could find a naked woman hidden somewhere on a nickel.
Oh, what is this?
No wonder Nilo hung a painting over this fire alarm. Looks like it's been permanently disconnected.
Permanently disconnected. Wait, I don't remember this bit. Do I have to do anything there? Oh, alright. Cover it up again. Why not?
The latch on this window has never been fixed.
Wait, I can do that? Oh, nice. Let's wait on the street. That puts me behind the buildings, and now I can go to the, what was it, not llama, the Pink Flamingo Club. Okay. Not sure if I ever used this in this game. Then again, I've played on like a couple of times.
The plant looks real, but it's actually part of the table. Low maintenance.
It's actually part of the table.
I put this table here myself.
Oh,
I
it's
think it
yours.
adds a nice touch.
Okay, well, yeah. Room E.
This door is to my humble abode.
That it is.
The man in this painting looks vaguely like Nilo with a beard. This probably represents one of his twisted little fantasies.
Damn. Okay then. Speaking of which, let's go. Oh, let's go and talk with him. Also, wait, what is this? Is that blood on the floor?
That must be the outline of the last tenant who tried to skip out on his rent.
No way. No, that was not that unforgiving, is he?
That must be the outline.
Is it not
That must be
about
the
the
outline.
line? Okay. Wait, what is this stain here? What is going on? You're paying up for rent and there is no cleaning? Tough.
Nilo is undisputed proof that man evolved from apes.
What do you want? I'm busy here.
There's something I forgot to ask you. I figure I've paid you enough already, so you owe me.
Well, you figured wrong. You're off by about $500.
Yeah, that's a bit too much, and I'm sure I don't have to do that. Let's see. Refuse assertively. That may not go over very well. I have no idea. Well, let's see what happens.
Come on, Nilo. You've cleaned me out already. I haven't even got enough money left to buy food.
Oh, boo-hoo. Here, let me give you some back. Ah, you didn't say the magic word. What a sap. So, what do you want to know? How to spot a sucker a mile away? Sucker a mile away, I like that.
Nilo looks around like he's about to sell some government secret and then lets me take a peek in his special notebook. The code is 4827.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
My head feels like it's full of molasses. Yeah, another swell case for San Francisco's favorite punching bag. I suppose the fact that someone knocked me out must mean I'm on the right track. Whoever hit me did a thorough job. Must have interrupted his search of the apartment. Maybe that means he overlooked something.
Damn, already day 2. I've barely played the game, man. Alright, so cracks in the walls and everything. Oh, what are we having here?
Man, what's this? Looks like a scarf. Ooh, this scarf reeks of cheap perfume. I guess Malloy must have had a lady friend in for a visit. And if the lady friend wore this scarf anywhere else in the neighborhood, she'd be pretty hard to forget. Maybe I should show this thing around and see what I can find out. This bed looks hard enough to tap dance on.
Okay, this is nothing, I guess. Oh, look at this.
No play, bub. I never look at these personally, but I do remember this one. It was the Amazon Woman edition featuring 37 pages of full-color pictures. Nice. Looks like a letter. I wonder who this David Wright is, and more importantly, if Malloy's been to his cabin in Oregon.
January 28th, 2043. Dear Thomas, I was glad to receive your letter after all these years. It sounds as though your work is progressing well, and I look forward to having a few of our own discussions just like in the old days. You're certainly welcome to stay at my cabin as long as you like. It's extremely secluded, a perfect place to get away from prying eyes. I can't meet you for at least a week, but I'll get there when I can. In the meantime, there is a key to the door under the brick by the front steps. Okay. I've come across an item I think you'll find quite interesting. I look forward to working out an exchange for information. The cabin is located exactly 8.4 miles southwest from a small town in Oregon called Cymon. You'll probably need to find a good map. It will be good to see you again. David Wright. Alright.
Now there's no lock on the drawer. This looks like a pawn ticket of some kind. Looks like Rook did some business with Mr. Malloy. I wonder if Rook could let me redeem this receipt. Who am I kidding? He'll do anything if the price is right.
But do you have the right price? Is the question then.
Particle board and plastic never looked so good.
There isn't that much money left in your pocket, right? Right.
And lamp looks like an urn wearing a Chinese hat.
Thankfully that guy did not pickpocket him. Oh, anything about the cracks? No.
What a fabulous view.
No, right? Okay, anything else here about the bed? It doesn't seem like it. A bunch of boxes here.
These boxes are empty. Wonder what they're doing here.
There are some addresses. There's some stickers.
These boxes are empty.
No. Okay. Oh, look at this.
The label on the box says it was shipped from Mexico. Airport of the Gods. My Uncle Marty owned a whole series of these books. Go-Karts of the Gods, Lunch of the Gods. I loved this book when I was a kid. Aliens, spaceships, mysterious structures. Then I grew up and realized it was all a load of crap. The label on the box says it was shipped from Mexico.
Okay, so I guess nothing else of interest there.
I shudder to think about all the butts that have sat in that cushion through the ages. Damn, no spare change under here.
Yeah, I'd imagine you will be looking for something like this. Wolf, Malloy, and Llama.
Looks like Malloy made a special llama pal back in his younger days.
Nice. Something here in the corner. Yeah, I also do not remember anything being there. Okay.
A rickety reading lamp with no light bulb. Man, Nilo runs a tight ship. That drafting table must be 70 years old. Look at all those drawers.
I know, right? You're reading my mind.
Yeah, looks like a business card. This warehouse is just down the street from the Ritz.
Damn, there's so much information in this room.
Envelope.
Okay, untranslated letter.
Whoever wrote this has worse penmanship than I do. Either that or it's written in some weird language.
Okay.
Nothing to find here. Yeah, it's an old photograph. Nothing to find here. Nice wastebasket. A few plastic plates and cheap silverware. Malloy must have taken the good china with him. An old rusty hot plate. The luxury of hotel living. Whoever furnished the Ritz must have bought credenzas in bulk. Oh man, Chelsea's gonna kill me. I didn't realize how long I was out. God, almost 16 hours. I was out cold straight through our dinner date. She's never gonna believe me.
Okay. Speaking of which, maybe I should save here. Alright, so any clues? Who was here and decided to ambush me and stuff? I bet Nyla was gonna tell me for 500 bucks.
Nilo is undisputed proof that man evolved from apes.
Como está, pea-brain? Must be nice now you don't need to sneak in through the back. So, what do you want? I'm getting tired of you asking about things I ain't never heard of.
Okay, I would have asked about who jumped me, but I don't get that option, so I guess I'm out. Oh, speaking of which, yeah, I have a lot of investigating to do here.
Nilo says he buys these girly magazines for the articles. Unfortunately, he's usually reading them upside down.
Nice.
Nilo uses this lamp when he looks at his special magazines.
Right,
This is where most of the residents come to get their mail. I have mine delivered right to my office so Nilo doesn't get a chance to spill on it.
So we don't wanna do anything here. Oh, so what is this? Is this his bell or something? I can't quite tell. But it seems to be part of him somehow. Alright.
Front desk is a miracle of particle board and wood paneling.
Oh, what about this painting?
I'm not really sure what this painting means, but it's probably obscene. Front desk is a miracle of particle board and wood paneling. Nilo hasn't had this vending machine stocked since I moved in. It'd probably cost money.
Yeah, probably. Move, oh,
Nilo hasn't had this.
same thing.
Nilo hasn't had.
Yeah, same thing. Okay.
Sheesh. This sandwich is about as fresh as Nilo's undershirt.
Okay. So I guess they have a bunch of those cutscenes in this game.
Nilo had these plants laminated to save on upkeep.
Very cool.
This mail drop box adds a nostalgic touch to the lobby. The vid phone's busted, but Nilo won't put an out-of-order sign on it. That'd just cut into his profits.
Yeah, speaking of which, where are the fire extinguishers? I don't see anything like that here. This time around.
These paintings are simple, elegant, and tasteful. They must have come with the hotel when Nilo bought it.
Yeah, probably. Alright.
The chairs match the sofa perfectly. They're vile-smelling roach nests, just like the sofa.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they don't look that great.
I wouldn't sit on this sofa wearing anything less than a contamination suit. Nilo must have found these magazines in the dumpster out back. The only magazines he pays for are the naughty ones.
Aren't these naughty ones? Oh, I guess they're not. Okay.
Nilo must have found
Never
lamps
mind
are just
me.
for decoration. Nilo has a real flair. These tables work great as long as you don't put any weight on them. Say, something like an ashtray. This piece of notebook paper looks like it's been used for a coaster. It looks like Nilo's in for a busy and productive day.
Things to do. First new issue of Playbook. Get it. To store. 4 grids. Pig feet, beer, pink fluffy cupcake. Things. 3. What's that? Test results at clinic. 4. Renew Playbook subscription. 5. Fixed camera in women's bathroom. I knew it. 6. Payoff babysitter. Okay, so he's up to something. I don't know, why do I have this though? Can I extort him for something? I cannot just show it to him, can I? Let's see. Oh, I can do this.
Well, that won't work.
That won't work. Okay. Whatever. I was looking for something else though. Maybe it comes in later. Some crossword puzzle thingy. Yeah, these gonna be opened. I think nothing else on the back. Alright. Time to move out. And she's not here.
Oh, Chelsea's not at the newsstand. That's strange. I wonder if she's at her apartment.
Yeah, I wonder if I should go there right away. Because they do have a bunch to investigate here. Wait, can I open this?
This gate leads to an alley behind the Ritz and the Flamingo.
I can, awesome. I don't think I need to use it right now, but okay. The scenery I got before was a little different. Also, something here.
Looks like a metal rod. Maybe an antenna.
Maybe an antenna. You know what? I'm actually gonna leave it. I'm actually gonna leave it for now. Maybe it's for something nearby, I don't remember. I was gonna talk to Rook, so might as well. Did I save? I think I saved. Yeah, whatever, I'm gonna make another one.
That door will take you inside Rook's pawn shop.
No, it will take you inside Rook's pawn shop.
Rook's been running his pawn shop since sometime before the Eisenhower administration. He's a crusty, mean-spirited little troll who's rumored to have a heart of gold. Yeah, sure. He lets me buy things on credit occasionally, but then he nags me ruthlessly until I pay up. We get along all right, as long as I keep my bills settled.
Up already, Murphy? And it isn't even lunchtime yet. Or am I still asleep? Having a horrible, horrible nightmare.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think this is very Tex Murphy-like. But I don't know how much I can extend, so let's go with option B.
Say, Rook, is it just my imagination or have you been working out? 'Cause you look great, you little son of a gun.
Oh, Lord. This is a nightmare.
Hey, this actually works. Very nice.
Tell me something, Rook. You ever sat down and thought about how great life is and just smiled to yourself?
No. Now where's the money you owe me?
Oh man, tell him isn't about repayment. I would kinda like to, but alright, whatever. Trying to be a nice guy here.
You're gonna think you're still dreaming, Rook, because here's the money I owe you.
Well, let's pop the champagne and have a parade. Murphy paid me back.
I'd love to drink some bubbly with you, Rook, but I'm pretty busy with the case. That's another reason why I stopped by.
Ordinarily, Murphy, I'd tell you what to do with your irritating questions. But after all, you did pay me back. I suppose I can spare you a few moments. Never heard the name in my life. Of course I've heard about it. I just doubt I know any more about it than you. How should I know who that is? Never heard the name in my life. I've seen this man before. He came into my pawn shop several weeks ago and pawned an item. If you want to find out what he pawned, I suggest you find him and ask him. The man in your photo told me his name was Tyson Matthews. Nilo's run the Ritz for years. He's a pig. But at least he pays cash when he buys something from me. No. Next question. You know enough about me. Louis is a good man. He seems to like you quite a bit. I can't figure out for the life of me why. Oh, Chelsea. If I were a younger man, you wouldn't have a chance with her. I'll admit you have some skills as a PI. It's your social skills that need desperate help.
I used to play basketball 2 or 3 times a day when I was younger. Now, after I watch Jeopardy, I need a nap. I have to admit, Rook has an enviable collection of trash cans. If I ever find out who wrote this graffiti, I'll beat him senseless with a pair of wingtips. Yeah, it looks like trash to me. Of course, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Whatever's on the end of this power box must be out of commission. This gauge is as dead as my love life. A billboard for llama cigarettes featuring llama claws. Can't believe how much money these big corporations waste on stupid advertising. Man, I could sure use a smoke. The garbage can to person ratio is pretty high in this part of the country. I think it's about 4 to 1. The garbage can to person ratio is pretty high in this part of the country. I think it's about 4 to 1. Most of the graffiti around here isn't even worth reading. Creative, petty vandalism just doesn't excite the kids like it used to. Most of the graffiti around here isn't even worth reading. Creative, petty vandalism just doesn't excite the kids like it used to. Louis uses a rain gutter just like this one whenever he brews a pot of his special Armageddon blend. I have to admit, Rook has an enviable collection of trash cans. Oh, it looks like Rook fixed this window with a little Scotch tape. Looks great. This is the back door to Rook's pawn shop. Rook's run the pawn shop for so long, the bricks smell faintly of piss and vinegar. Man, I haven't seen this much trash since the Murphy family swap meet. The world's most worthless fence. It's a manhole cover. A sewer line must run under the alley.
Yeah, okay, I'm not going in there for now. But I'm gonna have to at some point. Wait. Oh, it's here now.
Ah, Clint's old studio apartment. I wonder if
Studio
it's for
apartment.
rent.
Really? Are you looking? That's rough, man.
The soft white light from the streetlight makes investigating the alley a pleasure. It's real easy on the eyes. Yeah, the fire escaped to nowhere.
The fire escaped nowhere.
Yeah, it looks like trash to me. Of course, one man's trash is another man's treasure. The garbage can to person ratio is pretty high in this part of the country. I think it's about 4 to 1.
Nothing here yet. Wait, is he gonna say something about this now?
Something's going on behind that window. Something
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to know about.
Well, let's climb up and find out all about it.
Something's going on behind that window. Something I don't want to know about.
Okay.
Sure looks like this door's painted on.
Wait, that's what he says? Oh, come on. You already found out it was painted on in the previous game. Okay, can I open this? Oh, I can.
Ah, Clint's old studio apartment. I wonder if it's for rent.
Well, it seems like he's not here.
Ah, Clint's old...
You can even open the other one. Alright. So, nothing interesting here for now.
Chandler Avenue recently got a city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off.
That's not what's supposed to be visible from there, is it? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but should be to the side. What's this?
Some unlucky soul lost his wallet. So, my landlord dropped his wallet, and it's full of cash. Of course, I could return it.
Well, it's Nilos. How appropriate. Yeah, it will be a good deed, so...
Streetlights here work about half the time, and usually during the day.
I'm gonna do it, even though it's Nilo. I think in my first playthrough I did not return it to him, and I got the mission street path ending type of thingy. But anyway.
That doesn't seem to do anything.
Really? Talk to him, I guess.
Bonsoir, dopey. So you're just going to stand there and stare at my beautiful face? Got a whole new respect for you, snotface.
Wait, I can do this. Let's see what he says here.
Nope.
No? Okay. Why did I get it? I'm very curious now about that one. Okay. Yeah, nothing new here. As expected. Let's go and visit my old pal Louis. Electronic shop. I'll pass for now.
The bank's never open, and the ATM machine, of course, is broken.
Oh,
Go figure.
wow. Okay. Oh, and also Francesca is gone, right?
The slice of heaven's been vacant for months. During one of my previous cases, I did a job for the former owner, Francesca Lucido. Helped her get a divorce from her dirtbag husband, and she took him to the cleaners. Last I heard, she was dating some young stud named Julio and renting a condo in Miami Beach.
Damn. It's actually a shame we won't get more of her, but oh well. It was nice while it lasted. Now, you just have that, so it's non-operational. They cleaned up
Another
the
standard
mess
issue
here.
section offense.
Now, this is also a good question. Why is it fenced up?
Oh sure, New San Francisco's got lots of pretty lights, but it just doesn't have the character of the old town.
No trash can here. Any gates? Nope. I think I could look around here. Somewhere in the back, is it this?
I wonder why I never noticed this door here before.
Yeah, not sure if I should do
The
it
slice
now.
of heaven's been vacant for months.
I guess not yet. Weren't there more newspapers to read? Oh, they may be in that room there, whatever it is.
These doors lead to the Brew and Stew. It's the only place in the neighborhood to get a decent meal. Smells like Louie's got a batch of his special chili simmering in the kitchen over at the Brew and Stew. The Brew and Stew, Louie's diner, is more of a home to me than my place at the Ritz. Louie's probably my best friend if I have one. He's always making sure I get enough to eat, and he runs me tabs for months at a time. My current debt is up to $200. But with the smell of fresh coffee and Louie's special home cooking, the Brew and Stew always has the welcome sign turned on.
Life! I noticed you talking to that older gentleman last night. I bet Rook $20 that he hired you to do some work for him.
Well, I'm happy to report that Rook owes you $20, though I'm sure he's going to be real happy about paying off the bet.
I think Rook's only nice to members of the fairer sex, and not too many of them. So I was right. You did get a job.
I'm not sure. What's this happen to have cash in your pocket? Does that mean I'm gonna be giving him his money now? Because I want to. but I also want to talk about this. I'm gonna try this, I guess.
My client's looking for a friend of his. He's not having too much luck finding him. He gave me a nice advance to see what I could turn up.
Congratulations, Mike. It must be a relief to be waking again.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna do this now.
Well, it's good to have something in my wallet besides a list of IOUs. I'm actually thinking of spending some of my advance on Chelsea, if she's still talking to me.
Chelsea's like a souffle, Mike. Treat her real gentle, and don't hurry things too much. She's pretty soft inside.
Okay, that isn't where I thought things would be going.
Yeah, but she's all golden brown and she smells good. Whenever I get close to her, it's hard to keep from drooling all over myself.
Maybe that's your problem. A girl like Chelsea needs you to be close, but not too close. You know what I mean?
No. You can explain it to me some other time, because right now I need to run a few things by you.
Okay. You know, I'm never gonna find out what he was gonna say in this and how option, but I think Louis said that Tex must be really happy to have some work now, so yeah. Where is my money? Let's offer him some cash.
You're okay in my book, Mike.
Alright. Let's ask some questions now.
Sorry, Mike. Haven't heard of him. Oh, yeah. I remember this scarf. And the perfume on it. Young, blonde girl. Came in here a while ago. She was real pretty, though a little heavy on the makeup. I think she said her name was Emily. I don't know anything else about her. I saw Malden a couple weeks ago when the cops came by to clean out Rusty's place. He hasn't changed much, except around the waistline. I'm pretty sure I've never heard that name. This is the guy that was with that young blonde girl who was wearing the nice-smelling scarf. Sorry, Mike. Haven't heard of him. I don't like to talk bad about people, so I got nothing to say about Nilo. I just saw him talking to you. That's about it. Rook's just an ordinary son of a gun, but believe it or not, he's pretty soft underneath. What are you asking about me for? I ain't nothing special. You're okay in my book, Mike, no matter what anyone else says. Chelsea's the sweetest girl I've ever met. There's nothing I'd like more than to see you two together.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask around for Emily. I don't think Rook would know because would have said something, but I may check in with him. Let's see what this is. Why not? Let's also save. I'm gonna need to do lots of saving in this game anyway.
I wonder why I never noticed this door here before.
Just in case I mess something up.
Yeah, floors and stairs in here are all pretty dusty. Doesn't look as though anybody's been in here for a while. Some of this trash consists of newspapers dating back to before the war. That's pretty cool. Useless, but cool. Boxes are all covered with dust. Passageway doesn't seem to have been used in quite a while. An ancient garbage can. The design doesn't seem to have changed much over the years. Nothing interesting here. Boxes are all covered with dust. Passageway doesn't seem to have been used in quite a while. It's a piece of sheet metal propped up against the wall. I can't imagine where this door goes.
Whoa, that was kinda loud. And to think I'm gonna have to open it again. Okay. Yikes. Wait, what if I move this other metal sheet? Oh, I cannot. This metal sheet also doesn't move. Alright.
The box looks like it's empty.
Pretty sure there was something here though.
Yeah, old
Wasn't
shipping
there?
boxes.
Oh, shipping boxes. What is this?
It's a bottle of something. Yummy. 25-year-old scotch.
Alright. It's scotch. Muddy ribbon. Sure. Somebody will be happy about that. Alright. Let's go through this. Puts me. Hey, what do you know? Over here.
Sure looks like this door's painted on.
Okay.
Sure looks like.
I love in the previous game he says this door's painted on. Like the surprise in his voice. Alright, now who do I ask? I guess I'm gonna ask Rook and Nilo and everyone. Should also not forget to go to Chelsea.
Back again, Murphy. If you're here to ask for another loan, you can forget it. How should I know who that is?
Como esta, P-Brain? Must be nice now you don't need to sneak in through the back. So, What do you want? I don't know any ladies by that name.
Very interesting.
This door leads.
I kinda know where to look. Oh, I can click through the door? Blasphemy. Also, this reminds me my speeder is not here. So do I just travel? Yeah, I just travel. Okay, I can go to the police station as well.
Most of the fences and gates around the neighborhood are more symbolic than utilitarian. The only thing in this neighborhood that's tackier than that marquee is Clint's toupee. Looks like the cops put one of their computerized locks on the door. Rusty the Clown used to own this place, then he mysteriously disappeared. In my last case, I found his body hidden in the back. Cops came in a few weeks ago and carried out Rusty's remains and locked everything up. Rusty's front door is sealed off with a cop lock. There's no way I can get in without unlocking it. The Fuchsia Flamingo certainly has the nicest doors on the street.
And we cannot enter through the front. What happened to this place?
The Golden Gate Hotel was shut down a couple of months ago. Turns out it's a big fire trap. I hear the owners are planning on gutting it and then fixing it up. The title to this warehouse has been passed around more times than a 50-cent piece. Right now it's owned by Acme Storage. The police were down in the sewer last week cleaning out the scum. That's the two-legged kind. Apparently some drug dealers were doing business in the tunnels below the street. I heard a deal went bad and someone got killed. A sermon on the joys of not eating meat, to be delivered by Reverend Gary. Okay.
Yeah, there was something there. I'm gonna
Most of the fences
postpone
and gates
that as
around
well.
the neighborhood are more symbolic than utilitarian.
Okay, so what did I have here relating to this?
This warehouse is just down the street from the Ritz.
Well, store your junk. Okay, I'm already here.
I guess they have to keep this door locked now that people are storing their stuff here. It's all locked up.
It's all locked up. Alright, then
The title to this warehouse has been passed around more times than a 50-cent piece.
I'm gonna have
Right
to
now
come
it's
back
owned by
and
Acme
make,
Storage.
Wait, can I... Doesn't seem like... Yeah, never mind. So, they say this
This
closed
place has
down.
been locked up for months. This mailbox used to be located by the Slice of Heaven. Federal discrimination laws require that it be moved to a new location on the first of every month.
Okay, what is this?
I guess this letter didn't quite make it into the mailbox.
Orphanage letter?
Uh-oh. Moral dilemma. To mail or not to mail? That is the question.
Doesn't say how much there is inside. Alright.
I may regret this the next time I'm eating dog food for breakfast, but right now it feels pretty good.
True enough. Isn't that Cymon guy there? No more Ardo shenanigans as well. That's a shame. That leads you to the back of the flamingo. What does this say?
So, this door is the delivery entrance for the Fuchsia Flamingo.
Deliveries, okay. Let's see what's up with this part of town.
Oh, the Coco Cabana. I heard that Clint, the local chocolate junkie, opened some kind of business up at Coit Tower. The Coco Cabana was just opened by a reformed bum named Clint. I met him during my last case when he was living in a dumpster in an alley behind Rook's pawn shop.
Yeah.
Compliment the rug. Give Clint some business. What does that really entail? Give him some money?
You know, Clint, some men, they just can't wear a toupee. But it looks pretty good on you.
Yeah, and that's what your mom told me, right before I slapped the handcuffs on her, like I do every Saturday night.
Okay, well I can tell you're just in one of your moods. How about serving me up a nice vanilla Frogurt?
Ah, vanilla's for pansies. The only thing I serve here is pure creamy chocolate. And if that's too strong for you, well, then get lost.
Okay, well let's see the menu. Oh, your house special looks interesting. Clint's enchanting chocolate chili. Does that come con carne?
Read the sign again, bonehead. It says, sorry, no carne. Besides, I'm all out of the chocolate chili. Sorry.
Tell you what, why don't you surprise me? I'd like something tasty, but not too rich.
Sorry, I happen to be out of everything at the moment. In fact, I was just about to close up for the day. So unless you have something important on your mind, well, why don't you just run along?
Okay, I forgot how this was supposed to go down, but I may or may not have something to offer him here. Let's see.
Nope, drawing a complete blank. It's a warehouse. What do you want me to say?
True enough.
Did you know that there's some kind of secret door that comes out of Rusty's funhouse over by the warehouse? I saw the cops open it when they were there last week. That's the name of the singer down at the Fuchsia Flamingo. Emily? Yeah, you must be talking about the girl who sings at the Flamingo. She's come by here a couple times with a gigantic guy named Gus Leach. He runs the Fuchsia Flamingo, and he might be Emily's boyfriend. They come by every once in a while and order the bliss on a biscuit. Actually, now that you mention it, the last time those two were here, Leach dropped a key under his seat, and I didn't find it until after they left. I've been meaning to run it down to the Flamingo, but if you're gonna go that way, drop it off for me.
Wait, so
That babe is hot.
Oh,
If that big guy wasn't always hanging around, I'd make mine move in a second.
Wait, you can spam and they have different lines?
That babe is hot.
Oh, maybe
Boy,
not.
if that big guy wasn't always hanging around, I'd
Okay.
make mine move in a second.
Maybe that's one of the few exceptions.
That's Emily's stage name.
Yep. Okay.
This scarf belongs to Emily. Love that perfume. Smells almost as good as fresh chocolate. Oh, I wish I could help you. Ever heard of her? Nope. Drawing a complete blank. Oh, I wish I could help you. Nilo? An open sore on the face of humanity. At one point, I had to choose between living at the Ritz and living in the dumpster. I took the lesser evil. Totally unfamiliar to me. That blood-sucking tightwad, he wanted me to pay rent for living in the dumpster outside of his pawn shop. That blood-sucking tightwad, he wanted me... That blood-sucking tightwad,
Oops.
he wanted me to pay rent for living in the dumpster outside of his pawn shop. That guy's a real gem. Hell of a cook. All right, you brought me a chocolate pie when I was on the skids. I'm indebted to you for the rest of my life. You're a god. Happy? All right, you brought me a chocolate pie.
Alright.
Chelsea's a nice girl. But whatever happened between us was over long ago. Don't let the torch she still carries for me stand in your way.
Alright. Well played. Anything else? So I learned a bit about her and about him.
So Emily works at the Flamingo with someone named Gus Leach. Now that I got the key, maybe I should go ahead and pay him a little visit.
Sure, but I don't know if I want to do that right now. What did he say? Secret door? Oh well. I was gonna do something else. Oh, the electronics shop. Yeah. I have 1300. My bill was 1230. So this will be fun. But might as well.
The electronics shop. I have to laugh every time I think about all the free stuff I picked up with my bogus electronic shop credit card.
Yeah, about that. Let me say first here. Alright, I'm going in for the kill.
The electronics shop opened last year and I got to know the previous owner, Ham Underwood. I got an electronic shop credit card under somewhat shady circumstances, and I ran up a good-sized bill during my last case. I hear there's a new owner now, some guy named Zach Williams.
Hold it right there. Get your hands up where I can see them. All right, now, take out your electronic shop credit card. Ah. Nice and easy. So you're Murphy. I just got your photo from the credit department. We were wondering when you'd show up here again. I got orders about you. Straight from corporate headquarters. Sorry I gotta do this. But now then, what can I do for you?
Oh man, I didn't think about that, but I hope he doesn't want another C note or a couple of C notes just to talk to me. So let's see.
Well, I guess this means my credit's shot. You know, I'm almost certain I sent you people a payment.
Really? I wonder why we haven't received it.
I don't know this kind of. It seems. Do I have to do this one though? I don't know. Alright, I'll go with this, see what happens.
Okay. I've been down on my luck lately, but whatever happened to old-fashioned love and compassion?
Your account is over 120 days delinquent, and you owe us $1,230.
Say what?
That amount includes one fax machine, $399, one laser blade, $29, a film developing kit, $179.
For that piece of crap?
You bought it. And $623 in interest.
What?
$623 in interest.
All right, all right. Here's your money. Now when do I get my new credit card?
You don't. From now on, it's cash only. If you see something you like, ask me about it, and I'll give you a price.
Yeah, I probably cannot afford it anymore. By the way, I was correct, that does not quite fit, but somewhat. Now I wonder exactly what he would have said in that second option. Oh well.
Photo analyzer. Most of the photos I've seen don't require much psychiatric help. Now there's utility. A radio that doubles as a boat propeller. Well, they sure got a great selection of gadgets, gizmos, and thingies. These joysticks never seem to provide the satisfaction they promise. That sucker reminds me of the bill collector that dropped by my office a month ago. Tissot watches. Last one I had broke down. Those headphones sound terrible with my Victrola. Those headphones sound terrible with my Victrola.
Wait, so what is the data on top? He said headphones again.
Those headphones sound.
That doesn't look like it very much, but okay. I'll allow
This
it.
computer has way too many keys. I used to have a battery pack like this for my Robco toys. Taser. I had one of those once, but I kept zapping myself. Missile robot. I can't stand that toy ever since it killed my cat Fuzzy. That is one old camera. I don't think they even make film for these anymore. Well, they sure got a great selection of gadgets, gizmos, and thingies. This guy must be the new store manager. The Robco Combuster. Now that's interesting. Memo pad. Jeez. Are they still trying to sell these things? They haven't sold a single visor since I started shopping here. A relief globe of the moon. That might come in handy if I ever have to relieve myself on the moon.
Well then, speaking of the visors though, I think he's correct. Actually, wasn't there one more stack in here somewhere? I may be wrong about that.
Memo pad? Jeez. Are they still trying to sell these things? This spacecraft looks like the escape shuttle from the Moonchild. Ah, the Moonchild toy space station. Needless to say, it hasn't been a big seller over the last year.
Yeah, it tends to explode.
I got one of these, and it's a real beauty. Force field keeps out undesirables. I'm not interested in Geigers. Little buggers eat till they explode. I'm not interested in Geigers. Little buggers eat till they explode.
I'm here to answer questions about the merchandise, and that's all. If you see something you're interested in, ask me about it, and I'll give you a price. Then if you want to buy it, you give me the cash, and you take it with you. Got it? Good. Our vid phone prices are very competitive. $399, not including installation. The Toppa Globe runs for $479. The visors don't work, so we're selling them cheap. $10 each. The Canon Hyper Zoom is our most popular model of camera. $759. Those are tasers. They're a joy buzzer for the 21st century. Kids love them. $33 a piece. The Robco Supercomputer. It's our top of the line. $5,999. The video watches are priced pretty low. $15. The teeny laser disc never caught on, so these things aren't much good. Robco Sticks of Joy are only compatible with the Robco Ocelot gaming system. $89 a piece. I wouldn't worry about the miscellaneous items unless, of course, someone suckered you into buying a Robco computer. The remote control Geiger is a favorite of mine. All the fun and none of the mess. $799.
Oh yeah, wasn't I supposed to get something like this for later? Well, now I don't have the money, obviously, but...
I'm not sure what that thing is, but it sells pretty well. $220.
I'm gonna have to come back here and pick some of these items.
The Robco Colony Cruiser is every kid's dream toy. That's why it'll cost you 900 big ones. The Cyber Nanny is a real breakthrough in the field of child supervision. $1,259.
Damn, that sounds awful.
The headphones are scientifically designed to work with almost any portable disc player. That kind of compatibility doesn't come cheap. $150. This new rodent tracker has some features that weren't in the 8000 model. It's got a strafing feature for cockroaches and a butane ant torch. It's a little pricey, $899. Ah, the Robco Comm Buster. If you need to find out a safe combination, this is the gadget for you. Attach it to the surface of a safe, then turn the dial. It'll show you all the numbers in the combination. The only glitch is that it doesn't give you the exact order the numbers are used in. It's still a bargain at $50.
Ooh, it's at $50 as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to buy this and something else. What do I see? Something here maybe. I don't know, maybe the guy, I don't know.
The visual analyzing apparatus allows you to examine objects and enhance different quadrants digitally. It's a steal at only $70.
Oh, never mind, it's probably this. This and more Robco
The
stuff.
Robco battery pack is specially designed to be used with certain Robco products, such as the Alien Abductor, which I happen to be out of at the moment. It's $20 for the battery pack.
Okay, I'm gonna try to remember these. Let me look at my inventory. I have $70. Fine, I'm out. Alright. Well, that went well. Let me go up to my office and see if I have any news, like any messages, and then I'm gonna go to Chelsea's. Let's see, it's gonna be here. We got any mail? Oh, nothing. Funny enough, I don't see a mail slot. Anyway, I was
The
gonna say
60-day
here.
warranty just ran out on my electronic shop fax.
Yep. Alright, now can I teleport from here? Let's find out. First I'm gonna save. And then I'm gonna have to talk to her and explain myself.
I fly my speeder to the Four Gables apartment building where Chelsea lives. Luckily, or maybe not, she doesn't answer the door. For the time being, I can save my groveling apology for later and go back to working on my case.
Oh, okay. So I'm supposed to find out some more. Well, in that case, I can go here with. Ah, they changed the layout like this. Very interesting. Also very nice. The cabin. Oh yeah, I can go to the cabin. I forgot I have the coordinates. Tower alley. Yeah, I have to do something here as well. Oh, this is labeled as an alley. Okay. Oh, anyway.
I've known Lieutenant Mac Malden for years, and occasionally we help each other out. Like a few months ago, when I gave Mac a tip on finding Rusty the Clown's body in the funhouse down the street from the Ritz.
Well, as I
Hello,
live and
pal.
breathe, it isn't Tex Murphy, my little PI pal.
I know, right? Do I have to be nice to him too? Damn. Alright, let's start like that. Or do I maybe ask about the injury? Nah, just buddy up.
Good to see you, Mac. You know I missed you. Anything new and exciting going on in your life?
My wife ran off with my best friend.
Really? Who's your best friend?
You know, I didn't catch his name.
Okay.
Well, just think, Mac. Now that you're single, there's a whole wide world full of women just waiting to reject you.
You're a funny guy, Murphy. You know, I sprained my elbow beating the hell out of a guy just 'cause he reminded me of you.
Okay. So this is what that may have gone into a rusty reminder. Alright, well.
And I think you're forgetting who tipped you off about finding Rusty's remains at the funhouse and got you named Cop of the Month.
I didn't forget, though I'd like to. So what do you want?
Oh really? That was it? Oh, sorry for some more. Yeah, let's ask him about everyone and everything.
Don't know anything about him. You think I know everyone in this town? Sorry. Well, there are some things I don't know about. We found Rusty's remains in there thanks to your tip. Sure was good to close a case on a damn clown. I'm not sure who owns the place now, but I still got the key. Sure. After the tip you gave me, I suppose the least I can do is loan you the key. Don't know anything about him. Well, there are some things I don't know about. I'm doing just fine. Now that Joanne's left me, it's like a whole new, beautiful world. Sorry. Well, there are some things I don't know about. Don't know anything about him. You think I know everyone in this town? Don't know anything about him. You think I know everyone in this town? Don't know anything about him.
Jesus Christ, you don't know anyone.
I met him when we were investigating the pawn shop robberies. Seemed like a decent guy. Louis makes the best chili in town. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit in with my new low-fat, high-fiber diet. You're not my type, if that's what you're asking. You think I know everyone in this town?
Okay, so I guess I went there just for this key. Here, let's see. What can I find here? I will examine it maybe. Interesting. Did I examine all the other things? I think so.
Ooh, this scarf reeks of cheap
Yeah.
Well, Mac gave me the key to open the cop lock, but he didn't tell me how to deactivate it. Oh well. I'll just have to figure it out. The 4 nodes on the left have to link up with the 4 nodes on the right. The connections can't intersect or the cop lock resets.
Uh-huh. Not sure if it isn't too early to go in there right now, but oh well. That's definitely not gonna work. How do I reset this? This is already ruined. Isn't it? I guess this is how I reset it. Wait, how is this gonna work? Oh, okay. Wait, so what was this path? This is the thing though, like how do I know? I have to try them one by one. Hey, this looks like something. I can't skip this animation though. Okay, so I guess that's not it. What about this one? Yeah, I could have tried to memorize where these go, where these connections go, but I didn't. Alright then. Really? Wait, didn't they try all of them? Like, which combination did I miss? And I'm not gonna get an explanation again. Maybe I missed something from the explanation. For sure he said I have to connect all on the left to all on the right, but that was going kinda well. What if I do this first? That's what I tried, I think. Yeah, I already forgot the paths these connections take. Well, this is not going to work. Is it? Yeah. Okay, I think I was on the right track here. When I tried this. Like the first two on the left. But I guess I must have missed some option, some combination. Right, what about this one? Okay, just to make sure. I cannot do anything like this, right? They try all combinations already. I wish I could hear that explanation again. Nope. Exit and maybe using the key. Nah, he's not gonna say anything. Okay. So look at it.
Looks like the cops put one of their computerized locks on the door.
Not gonna work. Fine. Oh, maybe they don't have to be on all at the same time, but that was my first impression. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna try this again just to make sure that I really ran through all the possibilities with the first two. I wonder as well, did I check all the possibilities with the first one and the third one? I think not. So I'm gonna be here for a while. Oh, look at this. Okay, yeah. So I did miss something. Very nice. I thought I tried that, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so it's correct. They all have to be on at the same time. I think he also mention that, so I've got two. Now things are relatively easier. Alright, very nice. Oh, that is interesting. Very interesting.
That door leads out to Chandler Avenue. Poor Rusty. Probably burning in hell right now. Empty cardboard boxes. Looks like some local hooligans have been in here. Counter cabinets look like they're worth checking out. An impressive selection of masks and wigs, designed to suit your every mood. An impressive selection of masks and wigs,
so no
designed to suit your
names.
every mood.
Well, that's a shame. Oh, what is this?
I wonder what this pedal-looking thing does.
You mean that's attached to the floor? That is interesting. Oh. That's really nice. Okay, hold on. Not ready yet.
This panel looks like it's movable.
Ah,
This panel looks like it's movable.
Okay. More masks, more wigs and stuff.
An impressive selection of masks and wigs, designed to suit your every mood. Some crime scene tape left over from when the cops came in and picked up Rusty's remains.
Kinda tore up the tape a little bit.
Rusty says, clean up the mess. Well, that's what he used to say.
I was gonna do it anyway, so. Oh well. Let's see, what do we have in here? Oh, they took out that big vat or whatever it was.
These posters tell you more than you'd ever care to know about film processing. This sink must have been used for developing photos. Not much use for it now that there's no developing equipment. This sink must have been used for developing photos. Not much use for it now that there's no developing equipment. These posters tell you more than you'd ever care to know about film processing. These posters tell you more than you'd ever care to know about film processing. Right about the time Grandpa started wearing Huggies, I used to switch one of these for his real dentures. A lot of good memories here.
Well
Empty
then.
cardboard boxes.
Oh, by the way, this is here.
Yeah, it's an old newspaper with Mac Malden named Policeman of the Week. Must have been a real slow week at the precinct.
Okay, what else do we have here?
There's a door built into these bricks.
Okay.
This ladder leads to the roof of the funhouse. Luckily, the trap door doesn't seem to have a lock on it. Rubber chickens. They make me think of Grandma's rubber chicken pot pies.
Will they put it in the middle?
Oh, now here's a classic. Fake vomit. This comes in handy when you don't want people taking the seat beside you.
Fake vomit.
I once broke up with a girlfriend over a
Okay.
whoopee cushion. Literally.
Wow.
I wonder why Rusty would keep this copy machine hidden. Unless he was using it to... I don't even want to think about that.
Wait, wasn't I supposed to pick this up? The whoopee cushion? Maybe not. Okay.
Man, this fake doggy do looks real enough to step in. Man, this fake stuff looks so real. It'll make a great gag. Can you imagine the look on somebody's face when I... Hey, wait a second. Oh, sick! Those police dogs were in here. Sorry, Mac, but first things first.
Well. At least you don't mistake it for complimentary chocolates or something like that. Let's see. Alright, that's a door leads to outside. Yes, climb this ladder. Oh, there's an animation. Okay. I wonder what I'm gonna find here.
Ventilation pipes. Ventilation pipes. I could use a cooling unit like this in my office. Ilo's too cheap to put in air conditioning.
It looks like
Now this must be where the
somebody's
local
here.
air traffic dumps their garbage.
Oh, or that. Okay. Maybe.
Now this must be where the local air traffic dumps their garbage.
Yeah, so nothing interesting here. Alright. What about this?
Well, I won't be able to get into the water tower without a key.
Yeah. I knew I was too early to be here. Oh, nice. I don't think I've noticed this before.
That bird wants to leave a present on my fedora. I can just feel it.
I don't know about that, but that looks cool. They animated it and everything. Very nice. Whoops. Let's see. Anything here just to make sure. I'm sure I don't have to be
Chandler
here.
Avenue recently got a city-funded cleanup. Now the street's darn near clean enough to eat off.
Okay, so this is the Ritz right across. Yeah, I don't see anything here. This is gonna come into play later, maybe not much later, but somewhat later. So yeah, climb down. Okay, so I know about this now. I know about that too. Oh, I cannot open it from here though, right? Right. I think I should go to the Flamingo. Then there was this. I don't remember what was there exactly. I think I want to go to the Flamingo, so I'm gonna save here just in case. I doubt Chelsea is gonna be at her place. How come I can't go? Oh, I think there is like air resistance. Yeah. No? Am I imagining things? I don't know. Maybe. Well, there is no way I can measure this, but yeah, it seems like sometimes he moves forward much slower than usual. Well, not much slower, but you know, it's noticeable. Open the gates. Okay. So what was it they got?
No shortage of trash receptacles in this part of town.
I got me a key to the place.
This little baby's my ticket into the Fuchsia Flamingo.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like trash to me. Of course, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Zebra?
This is the old Zebra building. They went out of business a long time ago. I think they made prison uniforms.
What the
It's
hell?
the old Zebra building.
That's not what I was thinking about until he mentioned it. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to pick up this. What was it?
Looks like a metal rod.
It's a metal
Maybe
rod.
an antenna.
Maybe an antenna. Okay.
This antenna isn't busted. I might be able to extend it. There we go.
Very interesting.
Looks like this side of the Fuchsia Flamingo didn't get painted. You can still see all the old markings from when it was the Bijou Theater. Looks like this side of the Fuchsia...
True enough. Okay, so nothing interesting here, right? As far as I remember, there was nothing.
Dumpster smells like a compost pile, only worse.
Well,
Dumpster smells like a
at
compost
least we're not
pile.
gonna find clean here
Worse.
anymore. Or in one of these.
The garbage can to person ratio is pretty high in this part of the country. I think it's about 4 to 1. This must be the back door to the Flamingo. It's all locked up.
Didn't mean to wake you, Emily. I'm sorry. How did you get in here?
Well, I just came through the door over yonder. Heard your piano playing. Sounded mighty fine. Mighty fine.
Look, spare me the phony accent. I don't know how you got in here, but we're closed. And even if we were open, this is a private club, and I know you don't have a membership.
I don't know what would be the difference between these two.
Well then, I guess maybe I ought to get a membership.
I doubt you could afford it. For you, it's $5,000. Still interested?
Yeah, I got 70. Would that do it? Yeah, I'm gonna go with this, I don't know.
Do you offer any kind of installment plan?
Yeah. Simple terms. Just one $5,000 payment. What's that smell?
I'm not sure. But my best guess is this is what you're smelling. Oh, it's not mine. Really.
Where'd you get this?
Hairdresser Cymon. Oh man, this is not going to go over very well. Just let's try it, I guess. Not sure if I'm supposed to be friendly to him, but I'm gonna try.
Well, I found it next door at the Ritz. That's where I live, and I've been trying to find out who it belongs to.
I'll make sure it gets to the right person. Now, why don't you run along before I call the cops?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think Mr. Leach and I hit it off pretty darn well. At least he told me what I wanted to know. Emily lives at the Flamingo. Now I'll just have to find another way into the club, get past that big mutant. Maybe Chelsea could help. Seems to me she mentioned having a membership to the club. If she's home, I'll apologize and see if she'll go out for a drink with me. Maybe at the Fuchsia Flamingo.
Okay. Alright, but I don't think that's gonna go over very well. So maybe this is the turning point. Let's see. I'm gonna save here and try to speak with Chelsea again.
When I get to Chelsea's apartment at the Four Gables, there's a knot in my stomach as big as a cantaloupe. She's probably convinced I stood her up. I'll be lucky if she even talks to me.
Hi. You're just a little late, aren't you?
Okay, I know this looks really bad, and you're probably really upset with me.
You're damn right I'm upset. I didn't deserve to be stood up.
This has to be one of the worst days of my life. I finally get a date with you and somebody decides to knock me out. I wouldn't blame you if you never talked to me again.
Oh, I have heard a lot of lame excuses, but this has got to be the worst one ever.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. I was out for like 16 hours.
And why should I believe you?
I told you before, Chelsea, I am crazy about you. And I'd do anything to make you crazy about me. I couldn't help not being here last night. But if you're not going to believe me, you might as well call it quits right now. I mean, we'll never get anywhere if you can't take me at my word.
You're right. I'm sorry. I was just really looking forward to seeing you, and well, then you didn't come, and well, I figured you'd changed your mind.
No way. You can feel the bump on my head if you want.
Ooh. Are you okay?
Nothing a little TLC and 4 fingers of bourbon wouldn't take care of.
I am really not in any shape to go out for a drink. I've been up all night, and I am a total wreck. Give me a day or two to recover, and, well, we'll start all over. Okay?
Okay.
I am sorry that you had a bad night. And I'm even more sorry that I got so mad at you. Have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Fuchsia Flamingo proudly presents your entertainment.
I fly back home and walk over to the front door of the Flamingo. Luckily, someone other than Leach is checking the memberships. I get a nice older couple to sponsor me, and I'm in like Flynn. Looks like Lucy Love is wearing the scarf I gave to Leach. Nice to meet you, Emily. Now I just gotta figure out how to get a minute of your time. Unfortunately, Leach hasn't taken his eyes off me since I sat down. He's probably wondering how I got in. I better get a move on before he throws me out. As soon as he gives me an opening, I'll see if I can slip upstairs to Emily's apartment.
Come near me and I'll scream. I mean it.
Hold on. I just need to talk to you for a minute.
What do you want?
My name's Tex Murphy. I'm looking for Thomas Malloy.
I know you.
Have we met?
No, you're a detective, right? Listen, I have to get ready for my next set. Why don't you have a seat right over here? I've heard you can help people.
I do my best.
You think you can help me?
Well, it depends on the problem.
I think someone's gonna murder me.
Why would you think that?
It started a couple days after Thomas left. I got a weird call. Someone asking where Thomas had gone. I told them I didn't know, and they hung up. A couple days later, I found a note in my room. After I read it, I was so scared. I told Gus. He told me not to worry about it. That it was just some freak who gets off on scaring women. But I know it's not like that. It's serious.
Oh, this sounds like something the police ought to handle.
Gus says he'll protect me. He doesn't want the police or anyone else taking care of me. I know he means well. But sometimes... But he's always been so good to me. I don't know what to do.
I'll need to take a look at the note, if you still got it.
I do. But I tore it up after I read it. I was gonna throw it away, but I decided to save it and give it to the police.
Good girl. Now, have you received any calls or messages like this since then?
No. But I feel like someone's watching me.
I'll check that out. By the way, did you tell me your real name?
Emily. Emily Sue Patterson.
Listen, Emily, I'll do what I can. But you gotta promise me that you'll tell me everything about Dr. Malloy.
Well, that's probably fair. I think I can trust you. Why are you looking for him?
Actually, I was hired by a friend of his to find him.
Hey, Emily, you're on it. What the hell are you doing in here?
Gus, it's okay. He just came up for an autograph picture. I'll be right
Get the photo
down.
another time. Get the hell out.
We were done anyway. Good night, Lucy.
Don't bother going back to your table. Just keep on walking right out of my club. If I see the flamingo again, I'll break your legs.
Well, my bar tab's on the table. Guess that means the drinks are on you. Night, Leech.
Men are imbeciles, women are erratic. Is this any good?
Well, not really. The guy generalizes too much, and I think all people who generalize are idiots.
Well, I'll have to cross that off my list of things to do.
Wait, said the spider to the fly? Why would they say that? Okay, some of these are really obvious. Which, I don't know, I guess it's nice, but some of them sometimes you wonder, where is this going? And that's on purpose, and this is part of why I like these games. Anyway.
So, to what do I owe this pleasant, yet entirely unprecedented visit?
Oh, you know how we women are. I've just been thinking things over again.
Oh, it's not a gender issue. I've been known to think things over on occasion.
Yeah, well, I finally reached a firm decision. I think. Something you said the other day has stuck in my head. You know, you told me that if I left, that you'd still be here when I got back. Did you mean that?
Listen, Chelsea. I've been like a rabbit in heat whenever I was near you for a long time now. But if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's patience. I can wait for you to come around.
It's nice to hear. I've decided I need a break. Time to decide what I want to do with the rest of my life. There's just one thing I need to ask you before I go. Tell me what you think about love. You know, romantic love.
Falling in love is like bungee jumping. Except the other person gets to hook up the bungee cord and you can't check to see if it's fastened to anything.
Sounds like you're not too interested in trying it again.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just I've got to be more careful this time. Same thing if I ever do the bungee thing again. Next time I won't eat a whole plate of nachos right before I jump.
Oh, I feel the same way. Oh, about being careful and not rushing into anything. Although, I must admit, of late, I've had some pretty strong impulses about you.
Tell me about these impulses.
Okay, Doctor, I've had this urge to do something like... Wait, can't do this. It just could be too dangerous.
But I like danger. I like acrobatic danger right here on...
Look, Tex, I am really attracted to you. I mean, like, really. In fact, lately I've even been imagining what it would be like to, you know. And, well, that's why I need to take this trip to Phoenix, to make sure I'm thinking with my head. Oh, I can't guarantee anything, but when I come back, don't be surprised if I come looking for you, Mr. Murphy. And you better be ready.
Man, I can't decide if Chelsea's really interested or if she just likes torturing me. Either way, I think I'll take a nice cool shower and get back to work. Maybe looking at the note Emily gave me last night will help keep my one-track mind off Chelsea.
Yeah, maybe both. Okay, by the way, day 3 already. Damn. And I have still so much to check out on the map. Do I save here? I don't know. I'm gonna save it, whatever. One of these days probably doesn't take that much space anyway, or at least it shouldn't. Let's solve this. Oh, I'm supposed to know how this operates? Well, thankfully I remember. Because I played the game not too long ago. So many pieces though. It's probably like this. Seems like I have something here. This probably like this. Are these all supposed to fit in here? I think so. Okay, now where's the rest? Where's the other part here? Oh, there we go. That's probably there. Actually, that could be anywhere. Oh, there it is. Nice. It was right in the middle this whole time. What's this? I'm waiting. Maybe. Oh, watching. Yeah, I was wondering if this is a capital I or a capital T. Yeah, that's not gonna be anywhere there. What was it? This was like an arrow. This looks like something as well. Is this kind of like that? Maybe. Oh, wait a minute. Could this be like this? No, I think these are letters. It's somewhere there. Anyway. Let's see, where's the top part here? Nope. There we go. That's probably somewhere at the bottom. Oh, there it is. This is the piece I was looking for. Okay. So far, so good. This was easy. Now what? There it is. I still can't make out what this is though. Okay, seems like that's there. It'd be nice if I can find out what's here. And this probably like this. Also this part, probably I'll need 2 pieces from there. Really? Okay. I actually don't see where's this part of the sea. At least it looks like a sea. Oh, there it is. It was upside down. Was this pictures? Maybe. Maybe. No, I think this was somewhere like this here. I guess we're gonna see soon enough. Oh, this is actually here. Okay. Well, I guess that's wrong. Maybe this one? No. That's okay. E. Nope. Okay. What's here? I still don't see it. This could be probabilism though. Sometimes a part of a letter, especially if it's a single line like this, looks like it may be, you know, the way it's cut, but it's not. Okay. Go back to this. Ah, there we go. There is also this line here. Maybe if I follow that it'd be nice, but yep, there we go. I was gonna say I don't see any other parts like this, but that didn't last long. Yeah, there's a little something here as well. There we go. So which part goes there? Yeah, am I correct? Yep. It's two pieces. Two pieces. No, actually, this is correct. I take pictures. Alright. That has been solved. Maybe like this. This goes here. Okay, so the arrow goes sideways. There it is. Okay. So part of the arrow was on this big piece. Oops, I actually did not see that right away. Alright, the pieces are starting to come together.
Well, Emily Stalker was careful not to leave anything traceable on this note. The only distinctive thing about it is the black arrow symbol.
Alright, well, yeah, I'm gonna save here, and that's gonna be it for now. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.